Early voting has already started, leading up to Election Day on March 17th. Our reporter Takaven Russell is live at the polls.
Student voices their concerns and their frustrations at this past week's Student Government Association meeting. The Black Student Union is helping students prepare for the workforce following graduation.
Good morning and welcome to South Loop TV, where you can get all of your South Loop news and campus news. I'm Jasmine Walker.
And I'm Andrea Childress.
Chicago voters head to the polls next Tuesday, March 17th for Illinois primary election, and several races could reshape the state's political landscape. Polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. across Illinois. South Loop voters can cast their ballots at the downtown Loop super site at 137 South State Street, at the Chicago Board of Elections office at 69 West Washington, or at your neighborhood precinct polling place. South Loop TV's Takaven Russell is here with a look at the 3 races to watch.
It's a windy city in Chicago, and I'm standing here at Jones College Prep, where voting will take place next week. The most high-profile race is for U.S. Senate after a longtime Illinois Senator Dick Durbin announced he will not seek another term. Another key statewide race is for Illinois' comptroller. The state chief financial officer, Susana Mendoza, is seeking re-election. Voters will also see the race for Illinois governor on the ballot. Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker is running for another term, and on the Republican side, there are 4 candidates competing to challenge him. I'm Takaven Russell with South Loop TV.
Thanks to Takaven for that update. Again, Chicago voters can head to the polls next Tuesday from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. to make their voices heard in several key races. Frustration is growing among students at Columbia College Chicago, as some say school's communication system is beginning to fall apart. At this week's Student Government Association meeting, student representatives voiced their concerns about scam emails, campus housing closure, and a lack of outreach from administrators. South Loop TV's Jaden Barlow has more.
Guys, today the board of the Student Government Association met with their representatives to discuss key details involving on-campus communication. Some representatives stating that there's a lack of outreach to students. One representative after another voicing their dire concern in regard to on-campus communication.
Alarming frequency of scam emails. Like I've been getting, and I know I don't get all of them, but I've been getting like 2 a week for the last 3 weeks.
College students are more vulnerable to fake job postings and scholarships, and the chances of encountering these scams continues to increase.
Yeah. We do have students fall for this kind of stuff all the time. That's why these emails are coming from student email addresses.
And they also make us forge your password. Yeah, they change their password at the time. I don't want to spell them around.
Yeah.
The board understanding the outpour of frustration from students. Columbia's mission of ridding their deficit by removing housing buildings has drawn out criticism.
Less frequently, and knowing that the Dwight isn't going to be there, it almost feels like a rite of passage is being removed, you know? It's like the Dwight is the freshman year dorm to me.
The Student Government Association's weekly meeting wrapped and members left with hope. Now, if people are interested in attending the Student Government Association's weekly meetings, they can find them here inside the Student Center on the 2nd floor inside of the boardroom. Reporting from the Student Center, I'm Jayla Barlow, South Loop TV.
Wow, hopefully a new president brings new initiatives.
I agree, I think that it will.
The Black Student Union held an event for students to help them evaluate if they're ready for the workforce following graduation and what employers will be looking for in them. Hunter Warner has more for us.
On Wednesday night, the Black Student Union held a very powerful event about career readiness for all majors and all years here at Columbia. The event was focused on what skills you need and what skills employers are looking for.
The Hive was buzzing as usual, being one of the central gathering places on campus, and tonight the BSU took the stage. With a table of free snacks and sparkling grape juice, students were welcomed in for a night of collaboration, with what some might call a Raja Venardo signature, the co-advisor of BSU and the assistant director of new student programs. Raja highlighted examples of lack of communication from student workers when it comes to emergencies or cancellations.
And that story kind of stemmed from, we have some students on campus who have probably been like a no-show, no-call, and we just want to foster professionalism and just make sure that they're showing up. And if you can't show up, just advocate and communicate. So communication is like key.
On the other hand, Connie Stanley feels that students need to take better advantage of leveraging the work that they create in the classroom.
Students are participating in clubs. They're typically learning a lot of administrative duties and soft skills that are transferable to their future job positions. So I really would like to see students learn how to take their portfolios and the work that they create in the class and leverage that for future opportunities.
Both Raja and Connie believe that students need to take better advantage of the Student Center, a service that is included in students' tuition and can help with building resumes and even landing internships.
I think it's just about making those appointments and actually showing up for them and just going. So I want to say this, the Career Center is used, but I think it can be used more.
Students, I'm hearing that they are trying their hand themselves at curating their resumes. They aren't conducting mock interviews, and they're not really taking advantage of all of the internships that we have. As it stands, I think we have less than a 5% internship rate right now with the students.
The pair also spent time pointing out how important building your network is while still in college, both sharing experiences on how networking during college and after college in their first few jobs helped them land their current positions at the college. And networking was alive tonight, making the pair excited for what's to come for the next generation and the boundaries that Generation Z is not afraid to break.
The BSU wants to remind students that networking and hard skills is what's super important about college and developing here at Columbia College Chicago. Reporting in the South Loop for South Loop TV, I'm Hunter Warner.
Having events like this is really important, especially for our seniors and our graduating seniors, to help them get ready for the future and what's ahead for them.
I agree.
Graduation is, I hear that there's some cold weather coming our way. Sydney Richardson has the latest on the weather.
Thanks, guys, and good morning. Let's take a look at the weather coming up this week. Chicago weather loves to be unpredictable, especially this time of year, and I'm sorry to say it's not time to put your winter coats away quite yet. On Tuesday, we've got some cold weather. We're looking at a high of 24 and a low of 11, and on Monday, we might even see some snow.
The Creative Writing and Reading series celebrates the dynamic culture of Chicago house music for Storytelling Week.
In terms of just like growing up, like
facing criticism over a new age verification system that is designed to restrict access to adult content for those under 18. We will have more on both stories after the commercial.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
Ready!
We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
That's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more than
who I am on paper.
Okay, I also feel like your first line.
The Creative Writing and Reading series celebrates the dynamic culture of Chicago house music for Storytelling Week. Hosted at the Hive, let's check out more about this event.
This year, Chicago House Music will celebrate 40 years of music, dance, and culture. Writer and poet Marguerite L. Harold remembers the city's underground scene with her book titled Chicago House Music, Culture, and Community.
House music was not about drugs. The music was the drug itself, and in Chicago, it's the drug of choice.
What has gradually evolved into an international sound, the Chicago house music scene started in the late 70s as a safe haven for Black and queer people to party, dance, and express themselves free of judgment and ridicule.
Right? It's something that started in Chicago, but we already had that kind of sense of taking care of one another, and the music just brought us more together. And I think that still exists, and it makes me very, very proud to be a Chicagoan, to see how we are standing up.
Harold's book explores the origins and evolution of house music from Chicago's Black, gay, underground scene, highlighting its role as a cultural movement for liberation and community.
Before, you might have found there might have been a space or two on the west side, there might have been a space or two on the south side, a few places up north. Now it's everywhere.
As part of the F. Froimson Creative Writing and Reading Series, hosted by the School of Communication and Culture, the series attracts prestigious, award-winning fiction writers, poets, and nonfiction writers who perform, engage, and educate on a myriad of topics and traditions. Located at the Hive, the series will run until the end of the month. For more information, visit engage.colum.edu.
I'm not sure about you, but I grew up listening to house music. It's some of my favorite parts, especially during like the summertime. It reminds me of family. It reminds me of warmth. It's just one of those feel-good feelings. It definitely brings out like a sense of community and a good time.
Yes, I agree. Discord is facing criticism over a new age verification system that is designed to restrict access to adult content for those under 18 on their platform. Some users are not happy about it. Hunter Warner has more for us.
At the start of February, Discord announced that users would need to verify their age to access adult-only features. That includes not viewing Safe for Work channels and participate in Stage channels, a live audio or video channel that allows creators to engage directly with their audiences. The announcement triggered immediate backlash. Many users voiced concerns about privacy and potential data breaches. Some pointed to a past security incident involving Discord's third-party support vendor, which exposed thousands of users' records, IDs, and even credit card information. Discord says that any ID or face scan data used for the verification will remain on the user's device, and the company will not be able to access the information. The policy follows new regulations coming from countries like the United Kingdom and Australia, where lawmakers are increasing pressure on platforms to protect minors following heartbreaking stories of child abductions being connected to online video games and services like Discord and Snapchat. Following the criticism, Discord delayed the full rollout until the second half of 2026. The company says that the delay will allow time to refine the policy and work with trusted vendor partners. Discord also says that more than 90% of users will not be required to verify their age. Instead, the platform plans to rely on signals, such as the account history, account patterns such as video games that the user plays, and the channels and servers that they are a part of, and whether or not they have a payment method on file.
Wow, I'm interested in seeing how this story develops.
I agree.
It may or may not be a good idea.
I think it's a good one.
I think so too. I hope so. Well, if you thought it was time to pull out your shorts and put up your coats, think again. You might have to bundle up more than you thought. Sydney Richardson has our full forecast.
Chicago weather is always a little unpredictable in March, and this week is no different. Yesterday we had a high of 44, and today we have a high of 45, so not much change there, but expected to be a little chillier tomorrow with a high of 39. Sunday, though, we're going to jump up into the upper 50s, and here in the Midwest, that's practically shorts weather. Unfortunately, it comes with a little bit of rain, and we can expect to see rain throughout the weekend and even some snow coming up on Monday as it gets colder. Tuesday, it's going to be noticeably colder with a high of 24 and a low of 11, so please keep that in mind if you're heading to the polls that day or if you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. So just remember this week, keep your winter coat out, your scarves, your hats, your gloves, but remember, Every miserable Chicago winter day or spring day is just one step closer to a beautiful Chicago summer.
Coming up, the red carpet is ready for Hollywood's biggest night. The 98th Academy Awards are set for Sunday. We will have more about the Oscars after the commercial.
The freedom to live in safety. That's an American dream.
The red carpet is ready for Hollywood's biggest night. The 98th Academy Awards are set for Sunday in Los Angeles. Conan O'Brien will host the lavish event where celebrity fashion is just as noteworthy as winners' speeches. Sinners, one battle after another, Marty Supreme, and Hamid are some of the films that could rack up multiple wins. I'm excited to watch the Oscars. I'm always more excited for the red carpet than anything. Oh my God.
I am too. I think that watching the red carpet is one of my favorite parts. I think that I look forward to that more than the actual ceremony.
Yes, yes. Well, that's all for our show today. I'm Jasmine Walker.
And I'm Andrea Childress. But before we close out, let's say congratulations to our producer, Happy, on her engagement. We wish you and your fiance the best of luck. Be sure to tune in next week for more South Loop TV news. Thank you.